are burnt out. You're overwhelmed, drained, irritable, and unmotivated. You can't seem to concentrate, like there's this fog in your mind. So you procrastinate, and the more you avoid tasks, the more you get stuck in this loop of feeling worthless or trapped, like there is no way out. But what if there is? Can you really get out of burnout? Of course you can, but not in the way you think. If you're someone who multitasks nonstop, someone dealing with chronic stress from work or school, or just feels like you can't catch a break, you know exactly what I mean. Hello, my name is Noor from Brighter You, and I am a psychology student with a bachelor's in applied psychology. And I'm always reading or working on the latest research on mental health and psychology. Burnout became a huge focus for me because, well, I went through it myself not too long ago. And between my own experience and everything that I've studied over the past 4 years, I realized one crucial thing. The answer to burnout isn't what everyone usually says. It's actually wrapped up in a three-phase system that I like to call the 3 R's of burnout recovery, which I'm about to share with you. But first, let's talk about burnout. Burnout sucks. It drains your creativity, joy, passion, and your spark. It turns the things you once loved into chains around your neck. That passion project? Yeah, suddenly it feels like pressure rather than passion. You're irritable with everyone, and no matter how much you sleep, you wake up feeling absolutely exhausted. But here's the worst part. Society often tells you to just push harder. Motivation follows discipline, not the other way around, they say. And while that is partly true, if you're burnt out, pushing harder only makes things worse. I experienced burnout when I was living my dream life. I had just graduated, was living at home, eating home cooked meals, and had no big responsibilities. But that's when it started. With no clear boundaries between work and rest, I was thinking about work all the time. Morning, night, even in my dreams. On the outside, I had it all. On the inside, I was carrying a 24/7 burden that no amount of sleep could fix. And this was during a time that I was sleeping 10 hours a day. So here's what I did. I dove into research and tried every burnout recovery tip I could find. I took all the knowledge available on the internet, combined the best aspects into one, and created my own three-phase system that worked amazingly for me. So here comes the 3 R's of burnout recovery, starting with Phase 1, Reset. The first phase is all about stabilization. You're deep in burnout, your body and mind are stuck in survival mode. So before anything else, you need to pause. The goal here isn't productivity, it's relief. Relief in two main areas, your body and your mind. For bodily relief, focus on basic self-care. When you're deep in work, you somehow forget that you are also a living, breathing creature. So do things like staying hydrated, eating warm meals, and getting enough sleep. Get enough gentle movement even when it feels difficult. Try breathing exercises or simply lying down in silence can also help your body begin to settle. When it comes to work or school, start by pulling back from anything that's non-essential. Say no to extra tasks and delegate where possible. Cancel anything that can wait. For emotional relief, your nervous system is so overloaded, so try to reduce digital noise, turn off notifications, and just unplug from the world. Instead, try journaling everything in your head with the brain dump to help clear mental clutter. This is your emotional and physical detox, a time to rest, breathe, and just be without any guilt. Phase 2, Rebuild. In this stage, you'll begin rebuilding a routine that revolves around your limits. Start paying attention to what gives you energy and what drains it, which you can do by tracking your mood or energy levels throughout the day to notice any patterns. At this time, you reintroduce structure but keep it soft and sustainable since you are still in burnout recovery. Think about doing like 2 priority tasks a day instead of 10 and focus more of your time on developing self-care rituals like lighting a candle while journaling or taking walks without your phone. I have another video where I talk about how self-care looks different for everyone, which I'm gonna add on top, so make sure to check that out and come back here when you're done. You'll also want to revisit your boundaries, like learning to say no without guilt, learning to say no to yourself, and protecting your recharge time like it is sacred. Reconnect with safe people at your own pace. Try out any low-pressure hobbies that you have wanted to for a while. Whatever you do, just make sure to fill your days with small, gentle tasks. The goal here isn't to be back to normal, it's to build a new way of living that doesn't lead back to burnout. Most people think that their burnout recovery process is completed here since their emotional and physical selves are starting to feel much better. But this is where they get it wrong. Because phase 2 was just a connecting phase between phases 1 and 3. And phase 3 is what you absolutely need to do to get out of burnout. So what is phase 3? Phase 3 is realign. The final phase is where you begin to reshape your life. At this point, you're feeling more balanced, not perfect, but steady enough to start dreaming again. This is a time of reflection, so ask yourself, what truly matters to me? What values do I want to live by? How do I define a meaningful life? And not by society's standards, but by my own. Once you have your priorities figured out, start aligning your time, energy, and goals with that vision. At this point, you're gonna have to redefine success to what it actually means to you. Is it hustling hard 24/7 and pushing even when you're burnt out? Or is it protecting your time and energy in a way that allows you to work and rest in harmony? Protect your peace with the systems and boundaries that you built in phase 2. And most importantly, recognize that you don't need to earn rest anymore. This phase is about living a life that feels sustainable and aligned, where you have new routines, values, and a new version of yourself that's gentler, wiser, and more intentional. In short, calm your system and reduce overload, restore your energy, and rebuild a life that's fulfilling, meaningful, and burnout resistant. I'll also include a worksheet that you can save to your device for effective burnout recovery. But none of this matters until you listen carefully and keep in mind what I'm about to say next. Before starting your burnout recovery, you need to realize that recovery isn't a linear process. You'll have your ups and downs. You might even feel guilt or resistance around resting because your old version has been so used to treating rest as a passenger princess rather than the main driver. But you need to understand that rest is part of the work, not something you earn when you're richer or more successful or whatever. You may even grieve your old self, the one that hustled all the time, but that's a natural part of letting go. Burnout recovery is all about relearning what fills you up, setting firm boundaries to protect your energy, and choosing a softer, more sustainable life. Learn to be patient, kind, and curious. You're not just bouncing back into the older version of yourself, you are building someone better. If you're thinking of implementing the 3 hours of burnout recovery for yourself, let me know in the comments. Or you can join our Discord server and share your experiences there, where we have a loving, uplifting community that's dedicated to mental health. Make sure to like, subscribe, share, and press that bell icon for more. Sending love and serenity your way. Bye-bye.